Now in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I was able to get guttering for absolutely free and then attach it to my shed. Stick around. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel once again. Kenroy here. So today it's finally time for me to get some guttering attached to our shed. Now you've probably seen the shed that I've built over the past few months on our previous video, and unfortunately I haven't had the chance to actually attach some guttering to it. Now the guttering serves as two main purposes. The first one is to protect the shed, especially the foundations, from being damaged by all that water that runs off the top of it. And secondly, it's a great way to collect water to reuse in the garden. If like me you love gardening, growing vegetables and of course your flowers, it's a great idea to collect all of that water for free and then use that rainwater to water your plant. Now you know I'm always trying to do things on a budget, and while I paid a premium for this shed in order to get a good quality shed, I didn't want to splash out and actually buy in brand new guttering. Of course this is just bits of plastic that will be funneling and directing water into a container. So I went online and checked to see how much it would have cost for me to get you know, the necessary pieces of guttering for this shed, and I was quite surprised of how expensive it is, especially with all the fixtures and fittings. This would cost me at least £150 in total, money which I really haven't got to splash out on bits of plastic. So the idea came to me, why not get in touch with a local roofer who could actually maybe give me some of these pieces of guttering for free. Now many times when folks are getting their roofs done, they actually get their guttering replaced for something brand new, and the offcuts and the old ones are no longer required, and they normally just go into the skip, destined for the landfill. Now I was in luck because I actually made friends with a local roofer who did one of my neighbor's roof not so long ago. Then all I had to do was just ask him whether or not he'll be able to give me a few pieces of guttering for free. I told him about the project which I had, and of course he said absolutely no problem Ken, I'll drop some round whenever I get some. Now I was absolutely blown away because he brought me so much that I hopefully will be able to use some on our greenhouse, but that's for another project. So the first thing I'm going to do guys is to remove this flower hanging basket which I've had on the shed. By removing that I'll be able to have enough space to work, and then later on I'll reattach it. Okay, so I've just assessed all that I've been given from the roofer, and he's given me quite a few pieces actually, which is going to save me tons and tons of cash. Now I've also just gone around the greenhouse and the shed to actually look and see what pieces of fixtures I will actually need. And some of the things that are missing are the end brackets, which will basically stop the water from running off the end of the actual greenhouse and the shed. I've got one right here, so I need to get another one of these. If you can see this on camera, so this is going to go on the end of one of the guttering to stop the water from running off the end. And on the other side where we will have the downpipe, I actually need to get a downpipe end. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but I know the size. It's a square one that I'm after, and each one, and they cost £5 each. So I'm going to need two of these, one for the greenhouse and one for the shed just behind me. Now what I'll also need is 4 corner pieces. Now 2 will be on the shed and 2 will be on the greenhouse, and this is to bring the water running from one side of the greenhouse and the shed to the next. So I'll need 4 of those. Now those go for around £4 each. What else will I need? I think that will pretty much be it. I've already got guttering, I've already got down pipes, I've got a few brackets. That's what I'll need. I'll need some of these fascia brackets to actually hold the guttering to the greenhouse. Now many of these seem to be sold in packs of 10, which costs around £10. So now if I was to buy these single, they'll probably be like £1 to £2 each. I've already got around 6 or 7 of them, so I won't need a lot. I'll probably just pick up a couple more. So all in all I'm looking at around £40 just to pick up these few pieces, and bearing in mind this is just for the shed and the greenhouse. So imagine if I was actually buying the whole lot, the downpipes as well as the guttering as well. it will add up real quick. So I'm really grateful to Dave, who is the roofer, who was able to give me these pieces that I need, which has substantially lowered the cost. Now what I could do in order to save money even further is to go back to him and tell him to keep an eye out for the brackets and the things that I need. However, it'll probably take a little bit of time, and time is money, as the saying goes. Quite busy, so while I've got the time now, I'd rather invest £40 to finish the job rather than wait another week or two, where I might well be too busy to even get the job done. And I don't want the shed rotting. I want to start collecting water. The next big outlay after the guttering is done will be to get myself some water butts. Now I've been checking online on Facebook Marketplace to see if I'm able to get any, but so far I haven't seen any going in my local area that I could buy or pick up on the cheap, so I might have to buy those full price, and they're quite expensive. Now they're going to cost me a little bit of money, however, in the long term this is a good investment because I'll be able to save myself so much money, you know, with all the rainwater that will be collected. So it will be money well spent. But I'm just going to head to my local DIY store now to pick up some of what I'm missing, and hopefully we can get this job done today before it rains anyway. I'm just at my local hardware store now. I always try to shop local where possible, you know, support local business and all that, rather than the big box stores like Screwfix. And hopefully the prices won't be too wildly expensive compared to the likes of Screwfix. So these are the brackets that I'm after. Maybe gonna pick up a couple of these. What else do I need? I need an end cap, which I believe, oh, that's a round one. I'm looking for a square one like this, but in black, which they probably don't have in stock, knowing my luck. Oh no, stand corrected. Here they are. So I need one more of these. So I need 4 corners, which I do believe this is the corner for the square ones. I need 4 of these. So I think this is what I'm looking for. Something like this to bring the downpipe down. I'm going to need 2 of these. Okay guys, so I've just come back from the shop after picking up the pieces that I needed for the guttering, and this is what it looks like. So this is one of the corner pieces which I was hoping to get, and I've just tested it out and it's fit onto the guttering that was supplied to me by the roofer. And all it is just held in place by these clips here, which you can pull apart in order to remove it from the cradle. So I'm going to get started now to see if I can actually get this lined up. Now I'm planning on having a little bit of a drop in order to allow the water to run from one end of the shed around the back and then along the other side, and hopefully I'll be having a water butt just at the front of the shed on the left hand side. It'll make more sense once you see it. So yeah, never done this before, so wish me luck. Now I forgot to mention that the other piece that I was really after is the section which houses the downpipe. Now the square downpipe will actually be fitted to here once I'm finished, and that's where the water will end up. But I needed this in order to, now this section is really important, especially because of this clip, because without it the water would simply just run from one end and straight through the other. So this will be inserted into here like so, if you can see that on camera, he says. There you go. So that, no, that's not the same, it's not the right one. So I've just realized that we actually picked up the wrong ones in the store. Now the process is still the same, except I need to get a square one. I've just realized that the lady actually gave me 2 round ones, which is my bad. I should have double checked, as she was the one that was picking them up. But it basically needs to go in the end of this section, and that will just stop the water from running straight through and down into the downpipe. I'm going to try my best to get this one attached now, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so I've had to actually attach a piece of wood to the side of the shed in order to allow the bracket to sit further away from the actual roof. so that when the water comes off the top, hopefully it will then land inside of the gutter. Because if I was to put the bracket straight onto the side of the shed, it will be too recessed and then all the water would literally just fly by. So I'm hoping that this will be adequate. So I need to do the same on the other end, where I'll be putting another bracket before putting on the downpipe in this section, and the same will be done on the other side. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, I'm going to use this string line which I've got to try and take the measurement, the level from this section all the way towards the back. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to raise it ever so slightly by the time I get to the back, and hopefully that should give me a nice little dip where it will slope ever so slightly towards this section as the water comes around the shed. So that's what I'm going to do now. So now that I've kind of got an idea of where I want the downpipe to be, I'm just going to have to measure this and cut a section of it off so that I can actually fit the downpipe on. So I want to make sure I have enough, so it's best to cut it with a bit of extra, so in case it's a bit short you can always remove the excess afterwards. Okay guys, so I've just finished attaching the brackets as well as the section for the downpipe, which will be connected to this section at a later date. And I've done it in a way in which there's been a little bit of a drop, so it's not completely level. So as the water comes around the shed towards the back and then around this side, hopefully it will then end in my water butt, which I haven't yet gotten because I need to find one that's cheap enough. I'm still looking out for one on Facebook Marketplace, but so far so good. I'll do a little demonstration now to show that it does work in terms of the water coming off the roof. I haven't actually attached this section to the shed because I wanted to make sure that it's all up and running first, and then I'll put a piece of wood behind here and attach it to there just to give it some security. But because I wanted it to be a bit more flexible, I just left it. What I'm going to do now is work on doing the opposite side round the back and then see how we get on. Okay, so I'm over on the other side now of the shed. Now this part is a bit of a tight squeeze because it's up next to the fence, but hopefully there'll be just enough room for me to actually attach these brackets. Now I'm going to try and make these brackets as high as possible, as this needs to be the highest point where the water will start from, running all the way to the back and around the side before finishing on the other side of the front. So I'm going to try and install these brackets as close and as high to the top as possible before putting in the guttering. Okay, so it's going to look a little something like this. All I then need to do is add the end cap here, and hopefully once the water starts running off the top of the shed, it will land in here and make its way around. So now I need to somehow make it all the way to the back, along that back fence, in order to add the bracket, in order to take it around the corner. Okay, so I've literally just measured the width of the back of the shed, and I took that measurement with the front actually, because there's not enough space at the back. Now it's now measuring around 6 foot, so now all I have to do is cut the final piece of the gutter in order to slot in the back section, and then hopefully the job will be done. Now I'm going to go fix this last piece, which is going to be at the back, and then once that's done, all I then need to do is add some end caps, but I will need to go back to the shop and return the round end caps that I bought for some squared ones. And once I've got those, then it's just a simple matter of attaching the downpipe into a container to catch the water, which I haven't gotten yet, but that's on the to-do list. Okay guys, so I've just finished putting on the guttering on the entire perimeter of the shed. Now the only thing that I'm missing now is one end piece to stop the water from running off the edge, and also to attach the down pipe, which hopefully will then lead into a water butt, which I haven't gotten yet. So hopefully I'll be able to pick one up tomorrow, or at the very least have a container where I can collect the water in. Once I've got that, then I'll attach it. So I hope that this video has inspired you guys to hopefully give this a go. If you've got a shed and you're thinking, how on earth am I going to attach guttering to it, it's not the most difficult thing. Although it is challenging, it's definitely doable. If you've got any questions, or if you'd like to know anything about this, please post it in the comments down below, and I'm more than happy to give you some of the tips that I was able to use in order to get this job done. As always, this is Kenroy saying, I'll see you when you see me. Take care.